coordinating body for 27 Zoroastrian associations in the United States and in Canada. Now, one of the purposes of FEZANA is to promote the study, understanding, and practice of the Zoroastrian faith. And we're so proud to contribute to this by launching the first ever FEZANA professor in Zoroastrian languages and literature at the University of Toronto. The FEZANA professorship at the University of Toronto is the single largest capital project in FEZANA's 30-year history, and it wouldn't have been possible without the collective participation of individuals and institutions from around the world, and that the flourishing North American Zoroastrian community will remain grateful to every donor who helped realize this dream. So thank you to everyone who's been involved. And I would love to begin tonight's celebration by welcoming Arvad Kobad Zarolia to lead a Hambandagi on behalf of the North American Mabit Council.
Which most of you know, the local mo. So if you can join me or Baname yazal Bakshoyande Bakshoyaskare Meherban Rajistiyao Chistiyao Mazadatiao Pashoniao Deniao Munguyao Mazdesh Nois Din Berasta Wadarosta Balkal Pirastade Inhas Kijartos Avadehas Dine or Mazda Dine Dat Jartos Dade Jartos Pitamaun Hashem Bahu Vaistemasti Ustasti Ustahamai Yadashai Vahistai Hashem.
Thank you, Arvad Kobad, for tonight's prayers. Thank you. I would now like to invite past FEZANA President Homi Gandhi to say a few words.
Good afternoon. I was in Spain a couple of weeks ago. At my last stop in Madrid, I visited Salamanca University and asked them, "Where is your shining star, Professor Miguel Ángel Andrés Toledo?" And they said, "We have already sent him to the University of Toronto." And so I hopped on the first flight over to Toronto. Friends, this is a great story to tell my grandchildren. But my friends, brothers and sisters, on behalf of FEZANA, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you, Professor Michelangelo, as the first ever FEZANA Professor of Zoroastrian Languages and Literature. I thank FEZANA President Arzan Wadia and the ZSO organizers for allowing me to share our journey to this day with you all today. Faith-based institutions like FEZANA have a responsibility to create infrastructure for the survival and growth of institutions that can benefit their growing communities. Developing and advancing scholarship in the education of our faith is an important part of this responsibility. FEZANA and its supporters have an important role to play in advancing academic scholarship in Zoroastrian studies and prepare a new generation of leading scholars in this field. During the last 2 decades, there have been courses, seminars, and workshops on Zoroastrianism offered at a few North American North American universities. But each of these offerings was due to the initiative of a particular scholar. When the scholars left the institutions, these initiatives went into oblivion. So there was a need for FEZANA to establish a permanent place of Zoroastrian studies and study of Avesta and Pahlavi languages. Since 2006, FEZANA and a small group of people from the global Zoroastrian community had worked with Stanford universities to start a program of Zoroastrian studies at Stanford. A successful program involving yearly lectures on Zoroastrianism and later on a course in Zoroastrian studies by Professor Johan Weweina were offered at Stanford. But when I became president, FEZANA president, I was devastated by the news that Professor Weweina had left Stanford University. Still, when one window closes, another opens. In August of 2016, the University of Toronto announced the inaugural Yeshiter lectureship in Avestan and Pahlavi languages. The icing on the cake was that our very own Professor Johan Weweina was selected as the first lecturer for this program. We saw an opportunity. We saw an opportunity then to establish the potential place for Zoroastrian studies at a world-renowned academic institution that was already offering advanced studies and supporting research in Zoroastrianism and ancient Iranian languages like Avesta and Pahlavi. I requested our Edward, Dr. Jahan Bagli, to explore this opportunity further. He brought the initial proposal from the University of Toronto at the 30th FEZANA AGM in 2017 in Houston. That was the beginning of FEZANA's dialogue with the University of Toronto. In 2018, FEZANA set up a scholastic committee to evaluate all proposals and options received for establishing an Institute of Zoroastrian Studies in North America. The committee unanimously recommended the University of Toronto's proposal. I'm very thankful to all members of that committee. In the University of Toronto, FEZANA found a partner with the stated objective of becoming a leader in Zoroastrian studies in North America. Here was an institution willing to match FEZANA's financial investment nearly dollar to dollar and add to its faculty of Near and Middle Eastern Studies a professor to teach courses focused on Zoroastrianism. Here was an institution so committed to this goal that they would extend our fundraising efforts along with their own contribution. Here was an institution so much committed to goal that they would extend our fundraising deadlines in the face of unanticipated economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, despite changed financial circumstances, in the middle of our fundraising to make this program a reality, over 280 donors from all over the worldwide Zoroastrian community generously supported this endeavor. Zoroastrian foundations and 12 FEZANA member associations also donated large sums to the endeavor. Even University of Toronto employees that we work with added personal donations in support of our efforts. I thank the supporters from the bottom of my heart. Also deserving our gratitude are Edward Jahan Bagli, Aban Rustamji, Nawaz Merchant, Kersi Stroff, Lavji Kama, Ratan Mistry, and Shazin Gandhi, who came forward and spent numerous hours in making a successful donation drive, ably guided by Behram Irani. We were blessed with legal guidance from our counsel, Son Elavia, and academic guidance from Professor Johan Vevaina and Professor Jamshid Choksi. Past NAMC President Erwat Adda Minosharamji lent his business acumen during our deliberations with the University of Toronto officials. I thank them all and the FEZANA executive for continuous support for this project. Our FEZANA treasurer maintained accurate records of all donations, and FEZANA administrator, Zenobia Damonia, helped in depositing all checks received in Chicago office. I also take this opportunity in thanking Zoroastrian Society of Ontario and its president, past president, Marcia Amroliwala, and its board of directors for collecting Canadian donations, maintaining records, and finally remitting the funds to the University of Toronto. I'm grateful to the FEZANA executive and president, Azan Wadia, for taking a continued interest in this project, and all the associations and many individuals who have made commitments to this project, and without which this project would not have been possible. We achieved our goal. The Zoroastrian Studies programs will be maintained in perpetuity. It aspires to permanently offer advanced training in Avesta and Palvi languages of the Zoroastrian scriptures and sacred texts. The aim is to prepare a new generation of rigorously trained scholars who are dedicated to original research in primary Zoroastrian texts. And I have no doubt that these aspirations and aims will be pursued by the university and Professor Michael Angelo. The road to this day has been long, but it has been an amazing journey for our tiny, big-hearted community. On this day, a new journey begins. There will no doubt be more challenges. But for today, let us celebrate. Let us celebrate this new beginning and look to the future. I, for one, cannot wait to see where it leads us in knowing more about the faith that is most dear to us all. Hamazor, Hama Ashobek. May we all be united in strength, in righteousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Homi. I would now love to introduce and bring forward the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario President Mitra Jem to introduce today's distinguished guest.
Just wanted to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I'm sure you do by now. My name's Mitra Jem, and I'm the current president of the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario. And I'd like to firstly actually thank Arzan Wadia, the president of FEZANA, who reached out to us only a few weeks ago to organize this event with the help of the OZCF and ourselves. And I'm really grateful for all of you actually gathering here today for this really momentous occasion for us all. Thank you. And I'd also like to recognize Masha, who was the president during the time, who did such a great job in actually doing the fundraising, putting this together. Can I ask you to thank you, Masha? This is our past president of the ZSO. So my personal experience with the professor, I'm not sure if he remembers, is I actually met him in 2017 in Dabamir, where he was, I believe, assistant professor then. I can't even see you, Professor Miguel, right now. Put your hand up where you say, oh my God, you're right in front of me. And you were invited here to Dabamir and you lectured on a topic called Great Little Avesta. I remember that moment. I was like, oh my God, I learned something today. And it's beautiful that I'm learning something every day. This is called, when you grow older, you kind of age with wisdom. It's true. So again, first time I met the professor, and I just wanted to tell you, he is so knowledgeable, and you all know he is a scholar in the field of the Avestan and the Pahlavi languages and the literature, as well as Zoroastrianism, Indo-Iranian linguistics, and he's actually written a manuscript transmission of the Avestan and the Pahlavi texts. So I would love to learn all this one day, time permitting. I'm hoping I will. So, Professor, do I say Miguel or Miquel? Miguel. Professor Miguel Toledo. I just have to also say he has previously held academic positions at the University of Salamanca, in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, in the University of Copenhagen, and the Free University of Berlin. And among other publications, he is the author of the monographs The Thread of Life and The Noose of Death in the Indo-Iranian Tradition, and The Zoroastrian Law to Expel the Demons. So if there's anything else extra I've missed out, please forgive me, Miguel. So it is my honor and my privilege today to actually have Professor Andre Toledo here with us today. And I'd like to thank him for giving us this opportunity to actually meet you, greet you, and welcome to our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mindra. And with that being said, I would love to bring forward and welcome Professor Miguel Andrés forward to bring some words for us. Thank you.
First of all, let me thank you all, because this event, this possibility of me being here wouldn't have been possible without the huge work, the tremendous effort, the contributions, and the help of so many people in the Zoroastrian community. This is a great honor, a huge pleasure to me, and this is, of course, an opportunity to talk to you, to talk with you, to collaborate with you, and to try to promote the study of the Zoroastrian languages, particularly in the ancient and the middle period, and to create a new situation where we can train new scholars, when we can develop further research, when we can collaborate with the community in many different ways. As you already know, I have been in some other places. I was also here in Toronto for a short period. Now I have the opportunity to be here, hopefully for good, thanks to your support, thanks to the FEZANA, and thanks to all the people who have done a tremendous work to bring this into life and to bring me back here. So I have not enough words to thank you. I'm really privileged, and I really hope that would create new opportunities for teaching, for research, and for collaboration. Instead of talking a lot, because I'm not a person who likes to talk much about myself, I'm just at your disposal. If you want to ask me things, if you want to know something about me, just let me know, and that would be a pleasure to me, of course, to answer all of you. So thank you very much, and again, you can count on me for whatever the community would like to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and a huge congrats again, Professor Miguel. I would now like to read a few words that's been sent in by Professor Marianne Pols-Wagner, who is an Associate Professor of Egyptian Archaeology at the University of Toronto. I had hoped to join you for the celebration of the significant contribution that the FEZANA Professorship in Zoroastrian Languages and Literatures will make to the Department of Near and Middle Eastern Civilizations at the University of Toronto. But unfortunately, illness has prevented me from being here in person. Nevertheless, it is important to convey the gratitude and excitement that this initiative has inspired in students and colleagues at the NMC. And I hope these brief remarks will give the community some idea of the immense impact that this professorship will have in the department and the Faculty of Arts and Science. The immensity of the task of gathering support for the FEZANA professorship attests to the dedication and far-reaching vision of the Zoroastrian community through a project that brought together many different individuals and organizations. The result of this work is an investment in the field of Zoroastrian studies that has the potential to transform our curriculum and ensure the ongoing vibrancy of this field of study. Professor Miguel Ángel Andrés Toledo is a scholar of international reputation whose work has questioned previously accepted interpretations of the textual source material and greatly enriched the understanding of Avestan and Pahlavi writings. Like an archaeologist, he has worked to unearth previously unknown or unrecognized texts in the archives around the world, and the scholarly community has acknowledged the power of his study of this greatly expanded record of texts to contribute significantly to the understanding of the development of Zoroastrian culture, language, and literature. Indeed, some colleagues have commended him for ushering in a paradigm shift in the field. His focus on the Pahlavi translations and exegesis of Avestan texts and their written transmission is an innovative avenue of research that complements our course offerings in Iranian, languages, literature, and culture, and is already integrated with the newly established EOM Institute of Iranian Studies and the Encyclopedia Iranica Foundation, directed by my eminent colleague, Professor Mohammed Tabakoli Targi. We are delighted to have Professor Andrés Toledo joining us in the NMC department, and I look forward to working with him to develop new courses and mentor students who wish to pursue this vibrant field of study, and extend my great appreciation to the Zoroastrian community for making this initiative possible. So that's from Professor Mary. I would now like to invite the FEZANA president, Arzan Samwadia, to say a few words.
Thank you, Tanya. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this very momentous occasion. As we all gather here to celebrate the formation of the very first FEZANA professorship at the University of Toronto, as Homi walked you through, it's been a long journey. And I think, you know, whether this current phase of the journey started in the mid-2000s, in 2017, but it's been FEZANA's and the Zartusi community's hope and vision to establish this for decades. Years ago, a lot of the old-timers will remember that we had started an attempt to establish something similar at the University of Stanford, but you know, we couldn't reach the milestone at that point. But there's always a time and there's always a place, and this is that time. And to everybody who helped us achieve this, thank you very much. The importance of what this achievement can be seen around in the room with all of you being here, many of you having flown from across the country. We have presidents of FEZANA member associations, committee chairs who've all come in to celebrate along with the local Zartusti community, both from ZSO and OZCF. More importantly, we also have our partners in this, the University of Toronto, and eminent faculty members from the University of Toronto are also over here. This is a testament of what it all means to all of us. So everybody who's on Zoom joining us and everybody who's in person, thank you. Throughout this partnership, we also hope to spread the awareness of the faith and the literature and languages that for all of us Zartustis just comes naturally through prayers. In today's world, just the way that things work out, everybody seems to be a scholar. And many a times, the real authentic message gets lost in opinion and dialogue. Through the establishment of an academic position of this kind, our hope at FEZANA is that this will allow for an authentic understanding of the faith, of the religion for years to come. And through the awareness that is created from this kind of research, it will help younger folks understand something as simple as what their prayers are, or something more profound as to what the faith means, how it transpired over the years, or the millennia rather. And what better way to make sure that it's authentic is to then enable the processes and put the processes in place that allows us collectively to make sure that our history, our faith is represented in the right way. And I think, therefore, something like this, which FEZANA has never done before, right? This has been the largest capital funding campaign that we've ever done. And I think when I remember talking on one of the conference calls that we had with the university, I don't think the university has also done something like this before, where they didn't have one person to deal with. They really had 280 plus donors to deal with, right? The challenge when we explained to them was that it was not us convincing one person. FEZANA had 280 people that donated anywhere from $100 to $150,000 to make this possible. We had to take everybody along, and we put the same amount of effort irrespective of what the community member was going to give us. When word spread about this, people from all over the world joined us. So we had associations from the UK, from Hong Kong, who also stepped up because they believed in what we were trying to do. So I think the global Zarathustra community in that sense came together. And I personally am very thankful for it. Most endowments that happen at universities are done either by a corporation or by an individual, or by one foundation. Here, the fact that we pulled in so many people from all walks of life to make this happen is truly a testament to FEZANA's goodwill over the years and the power of its member associations, where we could tap on to ZSO to help us raise funds locally and to OZCF and others in Canada itself. What does this mean for us going forward? You folks in Toronto now have the FEZANA professor in your backyard, right? The onus is on you to continue to keep involved with him and with the University of Toronto in other aspects that the University of Toronto deals with. I was talking to Professor Tawakoli, who's sitting in the back, and he was talking about a Zoroastrian seminar series that they're going to set up in the coming months. And I really hope that as we are now all back to being in person, that the folks in Toronto will take the opportunity to attend talks and lectures by Professor Miguel and by others at the University of Toronto. And Miguel, we hope to see you at other member associations, at other FEZANA congresses in the years to come. So thank you and welcome to the family, so to say. I would like Erwa Jahan Bugli to present a small memento from FEZANA to Miguel.
Ladies and gentlemen, I met Miguel some 6 or 7 years ago when he came to Toronto to complete the series of Vyashata lectures that were left incomplete by Professor Johan Wevena, who left for a position at Oxford. At that time, I remember discussing at lunch how challenging it is to find a scholarly and competent individual learned in Zoroastrian studies to disseminate the knowledge of Zoroastrianism among individuals. Little did we know that 6 years later, Miguel would be a member of our community and be a part of Zoroastrian community in Toronto. Today's occasion, in fact, to me, is like collecting the fruits of a plant that was seeded some 5 years ago in AGM of FEZANA in 2017. When I presented for the first time to FEZANA community a proposal from the University of Toronto for funding Zoroastrian studies lectures. And it is a pleasure, Miguel, to have you with us today, and we look forward to a continuous and close collaboration and journey with you towards the Zoroastrian studies. And I would like to present to you a token of our appreciation.
And I will, John, just wait. Yeah. And I would like Homie to present a commemorative pin to Miguel.
In 2016, I think I met you for the first time at University of California in Irvine when you came to bring out your new book. And I was very impressed. And when I said at that time that this is the Zoroastrian at its very beginning, it's going to expand. And it has expanded that well. So on behalf of FEZANA, I would like to present a small
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I turn it back to Tanya, who's, by the way, doing an amazing job. Thank you, Tanya.
All right, I would like to now invite OZCF President Adil Basania to propose a vote of thanks.
Hi, everybody. Tanya just introduced me, but in case somebody didn't catch that, my name is Adil Besania, and I'm very happy here today to be on behalf of the other organization here in Ontario, the Ontario Zoroastrian Community Foundation. I hope you all enjoyed this lovely evening today that we have to welcome the FEZANA Professor of Zoroastrian Studies, Language and Literature, Professor Miguel Ángel Andrés Toledo. It is my honor and privilege now to give a vote of thanks to all those who helped make this evening possible today. I'd like to start by thanking all the donors towards the FEZANA Professorship at the University of Toronto. This event today would not be possible without their support. Oh, thank you. Second, FEZANA, of course, for spearheading this initiative. A lot of planning and efforts over the years have gone into achieving this professorship. Homie, Uncle, Arzan, I know you guys have put a lot of effort into this, so thank you very much. All the FEZANA dignitaries and our guests who have flown in from various parts of North America today, first of all, welcome. And we're very thankful that you were here, you all flew here today to be a part of this occasion with us. The Zoroastrian Society of Ontario, thank you very much for hosting us today and allowing us the use of your facilities. Thank you to all our caterers today who are providing us the delicious refreshments that we're going to be enjoying in a few short minutes. I see the notice claps for that. The few individuals who I want to name and thank specifically as they were instrumental in making today happen. The very first person is our FEZANA President Arzan Samwadia. He actually came up with the idea of ZSO and OZCF in partnership with FEZANA doing this event today to welcome Professor Miguel. So thank you, Arzan. The next person is the ZSO President Mitra Jam, who you heard speak earlier. And thank you, Mitra, and the entire ZSO board for providing us this venue. And she's been available throughout the planning of this event whenever we needed any guidance. So thank you, Mitra, again. ZSO Vice President Anaita Ogra. She's here somewhere. I don't know where she is. I don't see her, but okay, she's, I think, back in the kitchen preparing the refreshments for us. But Thank you, Anaida, for coordinating the ZSO guest list and coordinating with the caterers as well. The OZCF board liaison to FEZANA, Kashmira Nagarwala, thank you very much for coordinating the OZCF guest list and being available to help out whenever we needed you. Thank you, Tanya Hoshi, for emceeing this event for us today. Like Arzan said, I agree, absolutely phenomenal job. And thank you, everyone, lastly, for being here today. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and please enjoy the rest of this evening and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Adil. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's welcoming function. We appreciate you all being here to celebrate this auspicious occasion for FEZANA and the Zoroastrian community. I really want to thank the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario, again, for hosting tonight's event at their beautiful Darbimer, and to both the ZSO and the OZCF for making tonight happen, along with our amazing volunteers tonight who kindly organized today's celebration. And the celebration doesn't stop here. We would love to invite you to enjoy our reception and stay back for some snacks and drinks. And it's been a pleasure being your MC today. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your night.